Most planes are considered old after 20 years, and after 30 years, they are usually sent to retirement. But one famous bomber is an exception to this rule. The B-52 Stratofortress first flew way back in 1952, and believe it or not, it is still flying combat missions today. So how is a plane that old still so important to the US military? Because the Air Force is giving it a complete makeover. This new version is being built to fly all the way until the year 2050. That means this plane could be in service for over 100 years. To make this happen, it will get brand new Rolls-Royce engines. It will also receive the most modern radar system available, and it will be armed with super-fast hypersonic missiles. Think about it. This plane is older than the Vietnam War. It is even older than the first moon landing. Yet, it is being prepared to fight in the wars of the future. This upgrade project will cost more than $50 billion. So why spend so much money on such an old design? By the end of this video, you will understand the genius of the B-52. You will see exactly how it will fly for a full century. The story begins in 1952, when a true giant took to the skies. This was the B-52 Stratofortress, a plane as tall as a 4-story building. It had 8 powerful jet engines and could carry a huge amount of weight. Its job was to be a long-range bomber, able to fly across oceans with nuclear weapons. By 1955, this amazing machine was ready for war. And incredibly, it is still serving today. While most aircraft are retired after 30 years, the B-52 has simply refused to quit. It has fought in Vietnam, the Gulf War, and even against ISIS. The pilots who first flew it are now grandfathers, and their grandchildren are now training to fly it. The secret is its perfect original design. It was so well made that it only needed updates, not a full replacement. Newer bombers like the B-1 and B-2 were meant to take its place, but they were either retired or built in too small numbers. So the old B-52 just kept on flying. But its long life is only part of its amazing story. Back in 1957, 3 B-52 bombers did something incredible. They tried to fly around the entire world without ever landing. This very long mission was called Operation Power Flight. For over 45 hours, the planes and their crews stayed in the air. They got more gas from other planes while still flying high above the ocean. This sent a strong message to the Soviet Union. It showed that America could strike anywhere on the planet. With mid-air refueling, the B-52's range was now unlimited. Before this test, a long bombing mission was often a one-way trip. After power flight, bombers could go and return home safely. This single flight changed the rules of war forever. But being able to fly anywhere is only half the story. Because when the Vietnam War started, the B-52 showed it could do more than just threaten. During the Vietnam War, the B-52 got a new and scary job. It was no longer just a nuclear threat. Its new mission was called Arclight. Fleets of B-52s would fly very high, where no one could see or hear them. Then, they would drop a huge amount of bombs all at once. Each plane could carry 70,000 pounds of explosives. When many B-52s bombed together, it was like a man-made earthquake. For the enemy below, the first sign was the ground shaking violently. There was no warning and almost no chance to escape. This bombing method became the B-52's deadly signature. Over the years, it flew more than 126,000 missions in Vietnam. It dropped more bombs than were used in all of World War II. But this dangerous work came with a price. 31 B-52s were shot down. The sheer power of these strikes terrified enemy soldiers. It's ironic that a plane built for nuclear war became so good at conventional bombing. But Vietnam was just one chapter in its very long life. After the Vietnam War, the B-52 could have just become history. But instead, the US Air Force kept making it better. It got new radar, new computers, and new weapons. It was learning new tricks for a new world. By the Gulf War in 1991, it was launching cruise missiles. It could hit targets without even flying over them. In the 2000s, it started using GPS-guided smart bombs. It went from a big hammer to a sharp, precise knife. Even in the fight against ISIS, this old plane was critical. It flew over 1,850 missions and dropped thousands of bombs. The B-52 survived all these years by never stopping its evolution. Think of it like a classic car with a brand new engine and modern electronics. They kept the strong body and just upgraded everything inside. But even the best upgrades have a limit. By the 2010s, the B-52's original engines were getting very old. The Air Force had a big decision to make: retire the Legend or rebuild it completely. They chose to give it a brand new heart. In the fall of 2022, a new plan was revealed for the B-52 bomber. It was called the B-52J, and it was a complete rebuild. The U.S. Air Force said all 76 remaining bombers would get this upgrade. This was not a small fix, it was a total transformation. So what does a total transformation mean for a 70-year-old plane? First, it gets brand new engine from Rolls-Royce. Next, it receives the latest radar system to see enemies better. It will also be able to carry super-fast hypersonic missiles. The goal is to keep this legendary plane flying until the year 2050. That would mean it has served for almost 100 full years. But why spend so much on an old plane instead of buying a new one? The answer is simple. It's much cheaper to upgrade the old B-52s. Building a brand new bomber costs many times more than this $50 billion project. But the most important change, the one that makes it all possible, is the new heart of the bomber. For over 60 years, every B-52 flew with the same type of engine. These engines were called Pratt & Whitney TF-33S. But by the 2010s, these engines were very old and tired. They used a lot of fuel and were hard to fix. So, the U.S. Air Force decided it was time for a brand new heart for the bomber. Several big companies competed to build the new engines. But in the end, a famous company named Rolls-Royce won the contract. Their new engine is called the F-130. These new engines are 30% better with fuel. They are also much quieter than the old ones. This means a B-52 can fly farther and stay in the air longer. And they are designed to last for another 50 years. You might wonder why they didn't just use 4 new engines instead of 8. But changing to 4 would mean redesigning the whole wing. That would be too expensive and take too long. So, the B-52 will keep its classic 8 engine look. But new engines are only part of the big change. Because the bomber's nose is also getting a complete makeover. For a very long time, the B-52 used an old radar system. It worked, but it was not ready for modern digital fights. But the new B-52J is getting a major eye upgrade. It's called the APG-79 AESA radar. This new radar can track many enemies at the same time. The B-52J will also carry a new nuclear missile. This replaces the old ones from the Cold War. It can fly from very far away, keeping the bomber safe from danger. So, this old plane can now carry the most powerful weapons in the world. It has a new heart, new eyes, and new teeth. All these changes make it more than just a plane. They make it a flying legend for 100 years. The new B-52J is being built to fly for almost 100 full years. No other warplane in history has ever done that. If you did, make sure like and subscribe to our channel for future updates. See you in the next video.